Hi everyone, welcome back. Today will be a short morning stretch. So no matter where you are in the day, might be first thing in the morning, might be last thing at night, but if you're feeling rather stiff and just need to get the body moving and warmed up, then this is a perfect place to start. So to begin with, we're just going to come down to the mat into a nice comfortable seated position. And feel free to sit up on a block here. Just bring yourself out of your lower back, no sitting or slouching or anything. Just going to sit up nice and tall. Keep the legs crossed. If you can, try and see if you can get the knees to press into the floor, keeping both hip muscles really pushing down. Straighten the back, lift the chest, tuck the chin slightly, and then soften or close the eyes. And we're just going to begin nice and gently, breathing in and out. Taking nice deep inhales through the nose, and nice exhales also through the nose. So really on the exhales, try to vacuum out the lower abdomen. Really elongating the inhales and the exhales. It's getting nice and comfortable sitting up, upright. And we're just going to take it nice and easy here. We're just going to try and basically melt the fuzz, warm up the myofascia, prevent anything from sticking, and get the body moving. So nice big inhales, and nice big exhales. Okay, from here, we're just going to drop the head slightly to one side, aiming to get the ear to the shoulder. And what we're not doing is lifting the shoulder to the ear. We're just going to let the head lean to the side, let gravity do its work. But we're going to sit up nice and tall still, so everything should still be grounded equally. The only difference is our head is slightly tilted to the side. Just continue to breathe in nice and deeply. You should feel a nice long stretch up the side of the neck, maybe into the traps and the shoulder. Just remember to stay nice and tall. Maybe taking the head back slightly. And then forward slightly. And then bring it back up to center. And we're going to just do the same on the other side. So rotating the head, taking the ear to the shoulder, creating a nice long stretch up the side of the opposite side of the neck this time. Then take the head back very slightly, just changing the direction of the stretch. And then forward. And bring it back up to center. And from here we're just going to take nice long circles around the full neck. Take it from ear to ear, curving back and around. Just creating nice, slow, controlled movements around the neck. This is also an excellent exercise if you're hunched over a desk all day. And then maybe take it to the opposite direction. Just keeping it nice and gentle. Remember to still be sitting up nice and tall. Again, the only thing that should be moving is your neck. Okay, bring it back up to center. This time we're just going to take a hand to the side this time, take it firmly to the ground. We're just going to lift the opposing hand overhead, reaching for the ceiling. We're not going to do anything too strenuous today, so we're not going to force it over and end up doing damage to cold shoulders. We're just going to stay up nice and tall. We're just trying to introduce the range back into the body. We're not trying to push the range. We're just opening the body, warming it up. Remember to keep both sit muscles firmly placed on the ground so you're getting a nice even stretch. And then raise it on an inhale, come up, and we'll just take it straight to the other side. It's coming up nice and tall, firmly pushing both sit muscles into the ground. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, keeping the chest nice and proud. Okay, from here, just going to rise up. And then we're just going to come up into tabletop pose. So stacking the shoulders on top of the elbows, on top of the wrists. Same with the hips on top of the knees. We're just going to do some cat-cow pose here. So on an inhale, we're going to drop the lower back down, pulling the chest up and through to look forward. Nice big inhale, creating a nice big arch in the back. And then on an exhale, we're going to tuck the bum under, going to really push up, reversing the orientation of that arch, looking back. Try to create as big of an arch as possible. And then come back to an inhale. We're just going to go through this a couple of times. Take your time with it. Just go in time with the breath. Inhales up, exhales down. Really filling up the body with it each inhale. And really vacuuming out the lower abdomen on each exhale. Just take your time with it. Just embrace the stretch. Feel everything beginning to move. Then come back up into tabletop pose. And then from here, we're just going to raise the right leg up just to 90 degrees, like so. Take a nice big inhale. And then on an exhale, bring that leg through in front of you to a nice low lunge. We're just going to press into the top of the foot, the knee, and all four corners of the front foot, just creating a nice stretch across the hips. See if you can start to lean forward. You don't want your knee to come across your heel, so if you find you are starting to come across, just edge this foot forward very slightly. We're just leaning forward. This should create a nice stretch across the groin and in that left hip flexor. So from here, we're just going to take a slight twist. So taking the right arm, we're going to lift up and rotate to the ceiling, bringing the chest round with us as well. So bring the chest to look at the wall away from you. Just breathe nice and gentle. Then on an exhale, come back down. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to peel the foot up, pulling our hips back. We're just going to create a nice long stretch up the back of the leg, especially in the hip flexors. Sorry, not the hip flexors, the hamstrings, wrong side of the body. Try and get your toes to start pointing to the ceiling if that's available to you. But ultimately, we're trying to create a nice long stretch in the back. If you're relatively tight like myself, feel free to keep the knee bent. We don't have to have it perfectly straight to get the activation of the stretch. So just wherever you can go to today. If you are hyper flexible or you are double jointed in the knees, feel free to introduce that bend slightly, and that'll just increase the amount of tension in the muscles around the joint, just very subtly strengthening them, preventing injury in future. And then from here, come back forward to low lunge, see how far you can press forward, and then bring it back into tabletop pose. And we're going to do the same on the other side this time, lifting the left leg up, taking a nice 90-degree bend, and then on an exhale, bringing it through in front of us, creating a nice low lunge. So when you are just in a normal low lunge, you want to be really engaging in the bottom of the front foot, the back of the top of the back foot. And then what you should be able to do, although we are sitting in this pose, if you were to lift your hands off the ground, you're not going to suddenly fall forward. The engagement should be in the feet and across the front of the back shin. Our hands are just here, just to hold us in place. We shouldn't be applying too much pressure to the hands. They shouldn't be really supporting us to keep us upright. We want to activate our core and all the supporting muscles to keep us where we are. Just breathing nice and deeply. And then from here, we're going to take the left hand this time, bring a twist round, just taking the hand to the ceiling, and we want to try and peel our chest through. So we don't want our chest here, trying to open up the shoulder to a crazy angle. We want to be in line with the chest, pulling the chest round so our chest points straight ahead, creating nice alignment in the spine. Just continue to breathe nice and deeply. And then on an exhale, come back down to a low lunge. Then we'll peel that foot back, create a nice stretch up the back of this leg as well. Continue to breathe nice and deeply. So no matter where you are today, you might have your knee up here, you might be out fully straight. Just embrace the stretch as it comes. Don't force your body into anything, especially if this is your first set of movements for the day. We don't want to be causing ourselves an injury. When we typically do these things quite cold, our body's not warmed up, we've not got a lot of blood flowing to the necessary areas, so we don't want to be causing an injury here. Just trying to introduce movement and a little bit of blood flow to each part of the body. Okay, coming back forward into a low lunge, and we'll just take the foot back, come into tabletop pose. Then from here we're going to curl the back toes. We're going to lift straight up into a downward dog. So don't worry if you need to keep your knees bent here quite a lot. It's the first one of the day. We're just slowly engaging, stretching, and really releasing everything. So if you need to take a little bit of a pedal here, feel free to. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift the heel of our left leg up, really bending the knee here, and then applying more pressure to the right foot. That'll just really increase the intensity of that stretch. Continuing to breathe nice and deeply. Really peel the back of your hips up to the ceiling that's available to you. Then we'll swap foot, bringing the right ankle up as high as we can, bending that right knee, straightening out, intensifying that stretch down the back of the left leg. And then lower them both down, nice downward dog. And we'll come back to tabletop. And then settle back straight as we uncurl the back toes into child's pose. We're just going to sit up nice and long here. Maybe use the tension we've got between our hands and the mat just to try and peel our arms a little bit further forward, stretching a little bit more into the lats and the armpits. Still try to keep the shoulders away from your ears though. Want to stay nice and long without hunching. Feel yourself yield and deflate into the floor. As you inhale, feel the back body rise. And as you exhale, see if you can just yield a little bit further. Maybe there's room to push your bum a little bit further back. Okay, on an inhale, we're going to sit up on our shins, coming to a sitting position, and we're going to stand on our shins like so, and we're just going to take a little bit of a twist to each side. So beginning with our right side, we're just going to swing across, touch our back ankle, and then on an inhale we're going to rise up. And then on the exhale, we're going to twist round to touch our left. Try and see if you can turn the body around a little bit, getting a little bit of twist in the spine here, keeping everything nice and pushed forward. Inhaling, coming back up to center. And exhale, twisting to the other side. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. We're just introducing a little subtle twist into the body here. Now keeping it nice and controlled. We don't want to be flailing or falling into this. We want to have control through the full motion. Really activating the abs and the core muscles. And then from here, we'll just cross the legs directly over, coming into a nice seated position. Once more, if you've got a block or anything, feel free to use that to sit back on. We just want to focus on lifting ourselves out of the lower back for the moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a twist to one side, so taking your left hand to your right knee and your right hand directly behind you to the floor. Take a nice big inhale, and then on an exhale, try and twist your full torso. So no, we're not just trying to twist at the shoulders, we're trying to bring the whole torso around where possible. Intention is to get your chest to point to this wall. Maybe rotating the head around a little bit if that's available to you. Still staying up nice and strong. On the inhales, feel the body expand, feel the intensity of the stretch increase, and then on the exhale, see if there's a little bit of space opens up, see if you can rotate a little bit further around. So with any twisting motion, we want to try and get as tall as possible. We're trying to use the tensegrity of the spine to help us move around. If you're not quite sure what tensegrity stands for, I would thoroughly suggest having a quick little Google. There's loads of diagrams on YouTube explaining it in maybe a minute or two. And the longer we can get, the easier it is to twist further around. Okay, coming to the other side. So coming back to center, take our right hand to our left knee this time. Taking our left hand behind us, nice big inhale, and exhale, turn round. Remember to sit up nice and tall. On your inhales, try and get as tall and as big as you can. And then on the exhale, see if there's a little bit of movement to help you twist a little bit further. Maybe using the friction or your hand position to help just push you a little bit further around if needed. Again, we're not trying to really force it. We're just trying to find a nice threshold place where we're reaping the benefits of the pose. And then coming back to center, we'll just do one more. Take our hands to the floor. If it's available to you, just start walking out nice and long forward. See how far you can go. Maybe you can get your head to the floor. Maybe you just get maybe a portion of the way down. Doesn't matter too much here. Just create a nice little bit of a further stretch in the back. Really press down on the back of your sit muscles. Really engage that stretch. Very subtly walk yourself back up. Come back up to a nice tall seated position, chin slightly tucked. Soften or close the eyes. We'll just take a few breaths here. Nice big inhale. Try and see if you can fill up the tank a little bit more than you've done before. And then exhale it out nice and slow and controlled. One more time. See if you can fill up the tank a little bit more than you did previously. So a little bit further. Really expand. And then nice and controlled. Just very slowly letting that air out, letting the body deflate. Still making sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Really vacuum in this time, really hollow out the body. And then return to normal breathing. If your eyes are softened or closed, feel free to flutter them just to let the light back in. And thank you for joining me for another class today. Hope to see you in the next video.